Ready to rock and roll, dog?
Our powers combined. Do a spike with the crack.
Tastes good, don't it?
So we used to do this thing in college. My roommates and I called ourselves heavy beer connoisseurs, right?
Yeah.
We tried different beers and stuff. So I don't know if you were big into like Family Guy, the cartoon.
Oh yeah, I used to watch Family Guy all the time.
Yeah. Do you remember the episode where Stewie was trying to get his dad not to have any more kids with Lois? So every time they try to have some long time, Stewie would try to interrupt, right? There was one episode where Stewie figured out how to get his dad out the room. So he grabbed a can of beer and got by the door, cracked it open, and 2 seconds later, Peter opens the door. Who's got beer? And Stewie hits him across the head and puts him to sleep. And so every time we get a beer in college, we'll get by the door, somebody doing and one of them open the door. Who's got beer?
Who's got beer? Yeah.
So that was a college roommate thing. That's hilarious. Every time I hear a can open now,
yeah,
it triggers it every time.
That's funny as hell. Man, I'm glad I don't drink like I used to.
Yeah.
I don't know how I do it.
Yeah, I had to let that go too. This is not good for overall health, but
yeah, it's not.
It's quite expensive too. You start thinking about it. You get drunk and you just lose your wallet.
Oh yeah.
You know, the bar tab gets up pretty high real quick, right?
Yeah, it's different buying like cases of Natty Light or whatever.
Exactly.
But like when you're going to freaking bars and you're just like, oh, shit.
Couple of high grabs. Oh yeah, your tab gonna be pretty high quick. You can look like I just spent $250 on a Tuesday.
That's how it was. That's how my military career was, man. The weekends, dude. I'd be down at Coyote Ugly or whatever because I was at Panama City, right? Yeah. So, God, and I'd be like, oh, dude, I'm broke, but I keep partying.
Somehow drunk is always drunk. That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Because, like, I don't know, when you're young and in the military, yeah, like, you don't have the life of, like, a college kid, but in the way you do, like, when you're 19, 20, 21,
yeah, and
you're getting a paycheck and you live in a town there's partying available, it's almost like that's your version of, like, a college life, but, like, I guess more serious work. But, yeah.
But yeah, the thing is, like, when you say college life, you got like 3-4 roommates, and of course, you're not living like the most expensive life in the world. So, you know, rent and stuff is not extremely high. So your cost of living is extremely down. So you kind of get away with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's how for the first couple of years, I lived in dorms on base. You know,
exactly.
Yeah,
and you can kind of get away with, I guess, being able to go throw a couple of dollars away and having a drink.
Yeah, but then I had roommates. I had lived with 2 of my buddies in a house like right off base, and it was pretty cheap.
I think we was paying like $267 a piece for rent. Lord, I miss those days. Like,
I do too, man. Now I'm like just covering $2,000 a month and like for just rent. I'm like,
right. Like I can't believe the old me will be looking at me like, you dummy.
Yeah.
But how did you get worse?
I know, right? I'm like, yo, I'm telling my daughter like, yo, can you contribute?
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm just kidding.
I talked to my son like, listen, that food ain't free. Don't put that in that trash can. You go eat it all, right?
Eat that shit now.
Yeah, let's go, because everything's expensive these days. So
yeah, it is.
It's not like the old days.
Yeah.
And I found myself feeling old saying that because I heard it when I was growing up. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just amplified so much more now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
far, but
it's insane.
To them, they were amplified too. Because it just only progressively gotten worse as the cost of living. So to them, what they grew up on was a lot cheaper than what we were raised on. You know what I mean?
Yep, without a doubt.
So now we're in the same boat, and hopefully it can't get too much worse. I hope not, because if our kids saying the same thing when they get to their 30s and 40-year-olds, can you imagine how much cost of living goes?
It's like a bubble, man.
Man,
like, I mean, literally the word inflation. Like,
exactly.
you take something and expand it enough, it's eventually going to pop.
Exactly.
We'll see.
Be back in what
hopefully it just deflates.
The Great Depression type thing.
Oh God, it's not. We don't need all that shit right now.
We don't. Not with this world today. But
hey, will some of these other countries send us some money, please? Thanks.
Pretty please.
You can go to my website. Hey, thanks.
Listen, GoFundMe goes a long way.
We've been scoring y'all way for a while, so yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
You ready to get rolling though?
I'm absolutely ready.
What is up, everybody? This is Joe Adams, and welcome to the Relentless Pursuit Podcast. What we do on this podcast is bringing guests from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life to share their story, their journey, and everything along the way that led them to where they're at today. We're here to make an impact, and that is what we do. So if that is for you, check it out, like, subscribe, share, all those things. And if that is not for you, I don't know what your problem is, but you need to jump on board today. Hell yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks, dude. I didn't know it. Yeah, I just like paused. You made me nervous. But without further ado, I would love to introduce our guest today, the one and only Arsenio Moulden. Woo!
Hey, I'm extremely excited to be here.
Yeah.
First and foremost, I thought you was about to hit me with Arsenio. Well, thank you.
Oh, shit.
I knew you was gonna do it, but you didn't do it. I was like, yes, I'm my own man today.
I should have done that, man. Hey, next time.
Yep.
Next time. Thanks for the reminder.
God,
But dude, it's good to have you. So real quick backstory, Arsenio is basically has the gym. He basically runs the gym out of this space. So he started doing that in December last year, and he's been here within Relentless Pursuit headquarters. Got Phortitude Fitness in the back doing his thing. I'll let him kind of talk you through that. But yeah, so we work pretty much directly together in this building, and it's been pretty cool, man. It's been fun to watch you grow, and so on and so forth. But we'll dive into that. So yeah, that's how we know each other, and it's cool how that came to be. You know, like
small world, but yeah.
Like I moved in this building. I've been looking for trainers like from day one. Yeah, and I interviewed a lot of younger people. They didn't like the idea of like having to find clients, and I'm like, okay, well, you got to have ambition. So,
right.
Not talking shit, but just straight up, that's part of it. You got to do the work if you want to succeed.
A very big part of it.
And so I kind of just was like, screw it, man. I'm just going to train clients. Something will happen. And I ended up mentioning it to Ramon, and he's like, I might got somebody for you. And then just a couple days later, we signed some paperwork, and here you are.
That quick, right?
Hell yeah, man.
All about knowing the right person, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, it just worked out beautifully. So, and you guys y'all been awesome, man. So, that said, tell everybody what it is that you do right now in your life, and then briefly keep it at that, and then we'll take it back.
Sweet. Okay. As you said, my name is Arsenio Moulden, and well, I do a couple of things. I'll give you just, I guess, two of those that I'm doing currently right now in my life. Outside of being a husband and a father, I work as a engineer as well. And that's my day-to-day aspect. Most people actually know me more for the personal training, fitness world, because that's what I advertise the most. Mm-hmm. Been an engineer since 2011. That's when I graduated college and got a job right out of college, civil engineering. So done that all the way up until 2019. And that's when I moved here to Murfreesboro. Mm-hmm. And background in sports, so I always been in the gym active. And my wife was actually the personal trainer before I was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I didn't know that.
Free memberships, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I stayed in the gym. Wherever she worked at, I was there working out.
Sweet.
People always ask me, man, are you one of the trainers? No, I just like working out. And just a lot of health history with my family. So I didn't want to be going through all that when I got older. But yeah, I worked as an engineer and then became a personal trainer in 2019 and opened up the doors here to Phortitude Fitness, not even a year ago. So engineer, I say I burn the count at both ends of the stick.
Yeah.
Work as an engineer and work as a personal trainer and gym owner.
Nice, dude. Yeah. So you're all over the place, man.
Yeah, like we talked about it, from sometimes 3 in the morning to 11 p.m. at night.
Yep.
Back to back, you going and try to get some sleep in between there, right?
I know you're one of the only. I mean, there's a handful of people I know, but I guess in the area that I know of directly, that like works similar hours, just is constantly going. And I appreciate it though, man. Like there's that mutual respect there because on top of it, we both have families.
Yes.
And that there's that responsibility. There's being present there, and being a part of our families while still maintaining such a heavy work.
You said it, not
flow.
Just being physically there, but actually involved in the day-to-day aspects of the family life is it's the top priority for me.
It's number one.
I tell people I'm actually living my dream when I do that. So I don't take that for granted at all.
Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, I prioritize that as well. I mean, that's what matters the most, man. I don't want to get down the road and be like, oh, dude, I'm making millions of dollars right now.
No one.
But my daughter's like, hey, man, you weren't a part of shit. Like, dude,
you weren't a part of shit or you weren't shit, both at the same time, right?
No dollar amount could like outweigh that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel you there, man. And I love to see the grind, but you're growing, so, and it's obviously working out for you. You're making it happen. You seem like you're in a good place, like here. So
Got to be right.
yeah,
Hopefully.
I mean, unless you cover it up pretty well. So
I'm good at that too.
you have your days.
I do. You definitely. I think we all do. I've been told, and it's just kind of like the old sayings and stuff that I just always bring back and regurgitate. Just like, well, you won't have a good day if you didn't have a bad one. I was like, what? That's kind of deep, but I understand it. I get it. So you gotta, have a bad day to really enjoy your good days.
Yeah, and it also reminds me of this quote. It's just a bad day, not a bad life.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Or a bad moment.
Yeah.
A bad day. Yeah.
And that's kind of, like people with those bad days drag on, but it's, life's good.
You got to have playing quarterback, right? They always say you have to be a way to erase a memory quick. So you go in, you throw an interception. Don't let it hold you down the rest of the game. Yeah. Be able to bounce back real quick. And you got to take that same mindset and about life. You had a bad moment today, don't let it beat you up the whole day.
Yeah, if you beat yourself up, you're going to be throwing another interception.
Exactly. We don't need that, right?
Yeah. Then you're screwed.
Yeah, now you made the team lose.
Then you're going to have a bad day.
Exactly.
Let that bad moment be fleeting and jump back into it. Yeah, I hear that, man. Just getting in the zone help. Just thinking on that too, after going out this past weekend and bringing all the stuff for the hurricane relief. I told you about like how that's just really put my mind in it's been consuming, but at the end of the day, I have to be here. I have responsibilities.
Absolutely.
I got to record. I've got to train my clients and all the things, and I'm going to be out there every week. And that's a lot it's like a lot of anticipation, a lot to take in, but at the end of the day, like I got to be able to switch it. If I let that affect me and like I'm not able to record and produce and, uphold the things I've been working on for years now.
Yes.
Like, then I'm kind of screwing myself. I've got to flip that switch and get in the zone. So
you got to be able to shuffle the hats.
Yeah.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I live by, and I tell my wife this all the time with, husband, wife, being, the work life is being able to get to the door and understand, all right, I'm no longer this person I was at work. Now I'm Arsenio, the husband, because the wife needs me to be that, or Arsenio, the father.
Yeah.
Now my children need me to do that, and you got to switch it on and understand that that's the most important thing. And like you said, shuffle those hats because your roles need to be played and need to be played well.
Yeah, even if you have a bad day at work, you can't
punish your family because you had a bad day at work.
No, exactly. your kids are going to ask questions, be curious, and talk. Like
exactly,
engage with that. Don't be like I've had a stressful day, because then they're going to shut off from you, and then long term that's bad. And then they don't tell you things that they're going through, and so on and so forth. And so you like
dominoes.
It's dominoes, man. So everything you do has an effect. So like you got to have that switch, especially for your family. Yeah, because that's the priority, man.
Short memory, man. Sometimes that's good.
Yep, your job can be taken from you tomorrow, man. But they are there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, but anyways, Arsenio, take us back, bro. Take us back to the early days. Young Arsenio running around doing his thing. Where you're from, influences in your childhood and stuff that led you to where you're at today. So we'll just take the journey, man.
So take me back, way back.
Way back, back into time.
Back in the time, yeah. I was like, every time you say something, it triggers a memory. But I think it comes with age when you lived a little bit.
Yeah.
But man, you said take it back. I just go back to growing up in East Knoxville. Well, I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee, East Knoxville, Tennessee. I started by saying this: the area I grew up in was literally called the Gun Zone.
Nice. I didn't mean
it's weird saying it, but it's absolute truth. So we found this out. I think we were in, I was like a junior in high school, and we never quite understood like real estate and all that. And someone in that level showed us that they had like a little map, and it was like a little red, like a real red line around this like part of East Knoxville, part of Knoxville, which was East Knoxville, and it was like gun zone. We was like, what in the world does that mean? It absolutely meant the gun zone. And I was like, that's kind of scary. But when you grow up in something, you don't think of it as a bad place. It's something that you're used to. So
yeah,
I grew up as an outdoor kid, having fun with friends and family, sports related. I mean, I think every sport you can think of, I played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I always say that I think that's what saved me. Just being busy.
And so with being in the gun zone, was it pretty rough around there?
Yeah. Well, now that's been an adult, you know what I mean? And the life I'm providing for my children is terrible.
Yeah.
It was awful, you know what I mean? I was telling my wife this like last week, because we attended a funeral and we went back to my my father-in-law is old stumping ground, so he was, giving me the spiel about his growing up, and everything was going on with him. And I was like, I actually remember being like going to bed at gunshots, and I didn't think nothing of it, but I was like, I actually remember that now that you say that, because I hadn't thought of it in so long, and it's kind of bad, you know what I mean? But
yeah, you like forgot about that.
It's like I went to sleep in a war zone, you know what I mean? And then you wake up, and of course, certain people won't be here with you anymore. But I'm not saying that I had a bad childhood. I want to first say that first. I had a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Very close community, to the point now, like when I go back home, I always say I got like a community of mothers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was absolutely normal for me to be over at another friend's house eating dinner with her family, and then they, same forth with them and mine. You know what I mean?
Y'all weren't exactly involved with all the gun zone.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
no, we
participants.
Were, exactly. So we weren't participants in it, but we try to make sure we stayed away from it, and we did know.
You just get left.
It was going on, and some of the individuals that actually were involved at that time. But you know what I mean? That's why I say sports really kept us out of a lot of trouble, because when you're busy doing homework and sports and all that kind of stuff, you kind of don't have time to get in trouble.
Yeah. Were your parents a big influence on that? They were like, hey.
Yes and no. The reason I say parents, okay, just kind of backstory on that. My dad and mother had me at 15 and 17.
Young.
Very young, you know what I mean? So I actually grew up with my pops as like a little brother, and we look exactly alike. Creepy. If I showed you my dad, you'd be like, yeah, that's kind of, he's like a shorter, rounder version.
You're like, who's the dad?
So they always thought I was a little brother, and then my mom, she was pretty young too. So they were there, but it wasn't there, if you get what I mean. Weren't, like, I won't say they were still trying to find themselves, because they were kids too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they weren't really the ones. When I say people coming over for dinner and stuff, I was like with my great aunt or over my grandmother's house and stuff like that. So it was just always someone there. Not always the same person, but someone was there.
Did you ever have any kind of, I mean, at some point, obviously your mind's open now because you understand, like, well, they were young, man. Like, after growing up, you're like, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. 15 to 17.
Yeah. But did you ever have any kind of resentment towards that?
For a very long time.
Really?
A very long time. When I would stay with my great aunt, that was like my mother, right? She gave me the stability and showed me what family's supposed to be like in the household. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
She pretty much, I come to find out later on, she kind of like, she put one on mom to get us from her. It was me, my brother, and my sister, and I found out she got us away from her because she was doing stuff she wasn't supposed to do. I'm not gonna broadcast that, but she came in and she adopted us. For the most part. So we went to stay with her and her my cousins at the time. They were a little older than I am.
Yeah.
And that was a very staple in my life, you know what I mean? It grounded me.
So you had a good example. That's what's important.
That was an example that started it out for me. And she always kind of molded me into no point into my last name, but molded me into the way she wanted me to be as a responsible young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And I still hear it to this day. You better not be like your daddy boy. That's what she says. But
you're like, promise.
I got this. I'm not gonna. I won't be like that. You know what I mean? But it took me a while to figure out who he was.
Yeah. Just
because I had to grow up a little bit, but I did resent that. And then my mother, she moved away when I was in middle school.
Okay.
And ironically, she moved here to Nashville. And I was still in Knoxville, and I was like, "Hey, you just gonna leave me?" You know what I mean? So it took a while for I say a while. Literally, sometimes I still find myself making sure I don't try to make her pay for that mistake. You know what I mean? Even today, like, well, Mom, I understand.
Yeah.
Because we were really close.
Yeah. That sucks because I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, that would be tough. I was fortunate to have my parents just like there and stuff my whole life. And, I'm very grateful for that. I never taken that for granted. But so you hear things like that and I'm like, damn, it breaks my heart, But at the same time, you had a good example. Mm-hmm. And that's what matters.
Absolutely.
I think that's a key thing because there's probably a lot of people out there or even maybe some younger people that may listen to this that like, man, like my parents aren't there and they get resentful early and then maybe they get involved with the gun zone participants. You never know.
The streets are always there waiting on you, by the way. So
they're like,
I can say that to anyone, like, listen, it's not going to change. Like,
they're like, oh, you're having a bad time, we got you, and that's how it goes.
Open arms, and then all of a sudden you find yourself in the mix of the wrong crowd real quick.
Yeah, but you feel accepted, and you feel like people are there for you.
Yes.
It's kind of like it's weird because I've been around groups like that too, and it's just like, it's like almost they prey on that in a way, because they're, oh, you're damaged. Okay, you belong with us. We're all the same. And then it's just like this community of people, and then but they're taking you down the wrong path. And I mean, I've seen it several times, you know, and hell, and I didn't even come from like, you know, I had my parents there. I just made some negative decisions, and I learned from them, but still it kind of sucks, man. So yeah, don't get sucked into that, man. Like find that good example, find that person that you look up to, that you want to be like, that has good values and whatnot, and let them guide you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and as you were speaking about, you know, finding those good examples, I want a big shout out to my uncle. He was, you know, my dad's middle brother. He's not the youngest one, but he was the one I seen as the family man. You know, always working to take care and provide for the family. Anybody need anything, they can call on him to make sure. So, what they call like he was the most consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you never really see him do anything wrong. I mean, there's always an example for that, but as I grew up, I never really heard his name in any mix that was a bad conversation of him doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
That, you know, just negative for the most part. And to this day, he's like my pops now. You know, man, my father passed away last year, unfortunately, but now, you know, I call him Uncle Renzo, you know, and he's that pillar for me, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Uncle
Renzo.
Uncle Renzo, shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
Hell yeah. I love that, man. And it's cool as you know, move throughout life and you grow and you have a family, you start to recognize those people, you know, later on. And you're like, hell yeah, man.
He always been there.
Yeah. You didn't acknowledge it at the time, truly, but like now you're like, oh, yeah, that reflection, that's good. All right. So going through your childhood, obviously you were a sports guy.
Yes.
What all did you play? You said you played everything.
So, you see, I started with football, basketball, baseball, then I got into track.
Nice, man. I was into all those things too, except for basketball. We figured out very early on that was not my sport. I did not have hoops. Or is that what the word is? I sucked. Yeah. I've always been terrible at it.
I wasn't a hooper,
Yeah, was not a hooper, man. So that was one that kind of just disappeared really quickly. But yeah. Football was my thing, man, for sure. Yeah. I love playing that, man.
That was the first love.
Yeah, I just wanted to run into people.
Listen, that was my anger management.
Yeah, same.
By far, my anger management. Like, listen, think about it. You can technically fight people and not get in trouble for it.
Oh yeah.
I liked the sound of that when I was a kid. I don't know why, but it's like it was my outlet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same here, man. I play kind of dirty too, you know. But I'm just like, that's still sportsmanship. But hell, I'm
here to destroy you.
I'm here to win. Like that's all I care about. I'm not trying to like make you.
It's not. My first thought when I first started playing wasn't even to win. This bad. I was like, I just want to hit somebody.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's all about, man.
And then of course, I started hating losing. So it wasn't even the fact of wanting to win. I just didn't like losing.
Are you one of those people that like for me, for example, I can't play badminton or like cornhole without taking it serious? You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I'm extra competitive. Like, very. My mom literally sent it to me day before yesterday. She's like, yeah, it's my baby. He gonna take everything he plays serious.
Everything. It doesn't matter what it is. We were talking about doing one of those escape rooms.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, if there were some random people and people were screwing off, I'm gonna be like, listen, dog, like we gotta
like listen, you can see
this is life or death.
Like, come on now, damn it.
We're trapped in here forever if you don't stop screwing around.
You're hearing bullshit. And
right, time to that chair. Leave him. He's not contributing.
You know what? I got this. Don't you worry about it. You stay over there and just look cute. You know?
Yeah, man. So it could be turn out bad. I don't know. I get really serious. Yeah. That's funny as hell. So you working your way through high school and stuff like that. Was there anything really significant along the way there? You did your thing, you stayed busy, and then went to school, college?
Well, I'll say a pivot for me was I think I was in 7th or 8th grade. We had I'd say from both ends, from sports related and then career path. This is how I use my blueprint. We had it was called a job shadow day. It was Kimberly Clark. I think it's called Kimberly Clark. Did all the paper towels and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. We went and job shadowed them for just a field trip in middle school, and they paired me with the person. He was an engineer. Come to find out he's called a building engineer. Man, he had the coolest job. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I say the coolest job, like I shadowed him, and it felt like he did nothing. He was just. I don't know if he wanted to make his job look cool. Yeah. But it looked like he did nothing but walk around and like make paychecks. Yeah. To this day, I don't know what he did, but I knew his title was called a building engineer. And he took me around with him for that day and stuff. And I looked, and then he showed me his paycheck. Lord, my life changed then. I said, you can make that much? Because as a kid coming from where I came from, you didn't see kind of checks like that. And I'm
You're like, what?
I'm like,
You loaded.
You ain't do nothing all day, man. You got paid this. Like, listen, this is what I did. I got this degree, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
That's all I need you to see, right?
You're telling your friend this guy's got like 5 Lamborghinis,
Man,
probably,
I don't know,
a mansion.
I didn't see any of that. But in my mind, in middle school, that's what I thought.
This dude's rich.
This is the way out. Like,
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I got to do that.
Yeah.
And then I finally also in that same year, I hit a growth spurt and made the basketball team.
Nice.
I was a short, chubby person at first.
Dude, I was there right there until a point. Yeah.
And then boom, like over the course of 1 year, I just hit a growth spurt, and before you know it, I was actually good enough to make the basketball team.
Look at you, man.
I was like, all right, this is going great. You know,
Hell yeah.
I found out I can be smart enough to get out of the where I'm at, because I love science and math. That was my thing.
Oh, really?
I was like, that was a gift, because I understood it like in no other. Like, I didn't have to worry about studying for it. It was like, all right, oh, those numbers, I got you.
Those are two, like, yeah, that's definitely not my strong suit.
When you brought me the English book, oh no.
See, that's where I'm good.
To this day, I really don't like English. Till this day.
See, I love that stuff.
I hate something that's not like concrete. Like, it's one way. It's not one way. English gonna give you can spell a word 5 different ways. You can say it 5 different ways. It can look exactly the same, and you change one letter and it's gonna sound different like that. To me, that just threw my brain through a loop. So I was like, I don't like this. That's
interesting. Yeah, because I love writing and spoken language and all those different things. So like, to me, that's like super cool. Yeah, math. I'm like,
I'm stay away from this, because I don't care where you are in the world. In America, if 2 plus 2, it's gonna be 4. But I'm learning today they changing up math, so I'm like, I might not like this either.
Oh man, they are.
I haven't got there, but well, it's weird, but I have classmates that have kids in college.
Yeah.
And here I am with a 4 and a 6-year-old. You understand the gap? So
yeah.
So they telling me stuff with their kids with different subjects, and they was telling me how they doing math, and I was like, no, that's not the way you do that.
Yeah, man, they're just complicating it more,
making it a lot harder than what it is. So yeah.
I mean, I got the addition and subtraction down.
Yeah, but it's crazy. So I'm like, I'm gonna have a problem with that. I can tell. Once we get to that point, I'm gonna have a problem with it. But yeah, that I'll say that 8th grade year, 7th or 8th grade year, I can't really put the nail on the coffin on that one, but I think 7th, 8th grade year, I hit both of those different pivotal points where I kind of knew what I wanted to do as far as in a career standpoint with engineering, and I figured out that hard work can, work for you in the long run. Because I was already working my butt off to make the basketball team anyway.
Yeah,
I didn't make it 2 years in a row, and then my 8th grade year I finally did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So those were just like big steps to be like, dude, I got this shit.
I can at least do that. I can work hard, and if I work hard, going the right way, I'll figure it out. You know what I mean?
Nice, dude.
And I felt like I was in control of those things.
Yeah, I love that.
You know what I mean?
I appreciate that, man. I'll tell you what, like sports, like I love sport. I don't know what it was. I don't know. My focus was so different in high school and whatnot, man. I was like, I grew up like. I moved to North Carolina, and I like grew a shit ton, man. I'd like playing football and whatnot. Like it came easy to me, and I could have applied myself more. I definitely didn't. I was focused on girlfriends and stuff.
I mean, who was?
Yeah, true.
Come on.
But I was like, oh man, yeah, girlfriends, partying.
Yeah.
Play football, cool. I'm just a typical jock, right? And it's funny because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go play college and maybe go to the NFL, and like I didn't put in the work to do that, and I recognize that now. And I think it's funny, it's interesting how many people say those things though, like they just got it. And it's like, dude, it takes a lot of freaking work. So like
a whole lot.
Yeah. I've never been like, oh my God, I never got my shot. And it's like, I didn't apply myself to get a shot. I didn't deserve a shot, to be honest. Like I was screwing around.
Yeah.
And, it's just funny to think of where my priorities were in grades. I just like got by. I was like, dude, I just need to see, man. I'm going to go to college.
That's all I need. See, get you,
but it sounds like you applied yourself a lot more. I think, but we had different circumstances growing up, right? Like, yes. I did have it easy in a lot of ways, like I had a good, easier life, and it's no one's fault. Like as a parent, you want to give your kids a good life.
You're supposed to do.
But I don't think. a lot of struggle hit till I did go to college, because then I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I had to apply myself, and I got hooked on the drugs and stuff. And then went in the military and all these things, and it's all been a crazy journey from then on. That's where my life really started, I think, was like going through that addiction phase, and like that's where I started to really become who I was supposed to be, and up until now, right? But yeah, it's interesting to think that dynamic was so much different. So, and now I bust my ass in everything I do. So I'm grateful for like
having that adversity.
It's those seasons in life, man. Like I think, I was a totally different person then, but here I am now. Like I'm so analytical, and I apply myself in everything I do, So it's interesting. But you were like,
how you get there, right?
Yeah, but you had a path, man. You recognized it then, and
I'm a very I used to say analytical, but I'm a people watcher, if that makes sense. Like I kind of like, I don't even say I study people, but I really do. Like I sit back
same.
and I watch someone, and not just one person in general. I like to see, like, I probably could have went in psychology as well, just because I like to see how people behave. I like people's behavior. I want to see what you do and not what you say.
Yeah.
And with that, I didn't notice that I liked that until later on. But when I was a kid, I always watched the person that did something wrong and studied that, and like, you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So if you had that older cousin that always got a whooping for doing something, I was making sure I was not going to do that. You know what I mean?
I ain't get my ass whooped.
Literally, I'm like, all right, I know not to do that next time.
Yeah.
Or if I'm going to do that, my pops, this is the one rule. And crazy enough, this is the one that stuck with me the most. I'm like, son, I'm not going to, hold you captive to a lot of stuff. He said, all I'm going to tell you this is my one rule for you. If you do it, just don't get caught. So I can do everything that my friends doing, right? And if I don't get caught, I'm good. And he said, if you want to put it in that thought process, don't get caught, because then you got to see me, and I'm gonna be the judge and the executioner. I was like, Lord have mercy, because that's the one thing you didn't want to see. Like, pretty much a young man at the time. Yeah, I think if he was 15. So by the time I get to elementary school and all that stuff, he was just the executioner. So that was the one they threatened me with to try to keep me in line, because he was just coming to lay hands, if you get what I mean. Like,
yeah, you're like telling your friends, you're like, yo, guys, listen, I'm down, but I cannot get caught, dog.
Listen, you're gonna be on your own, because I'm like, if I see stuff getting close to getting caught, I'm good on that one. I'm gonna make sure it was CYA, make sure my ass is covered.
Yeah,
keep your ass covered. I'm not going to jeopardize me getting caught for you,
because you were a goner.
Oh no.
That's
so
funny.
I think I grew up with the people never thought I'd done anything.
Yeah,
they was like, Arsenio didn't do it, and then my friends be looking like, no, he was right beside me. But they never. I'm blessed enough that they never actually told on me.
Yeah.
But they was like, well, he didn't call. Can't get mad at him.
Yeah.
He left before we got called.
Yeah. Hey, that's
absolutely did.
Hell yeah.
I knew when to get in and get out. You know what I mean?
You were like, all right, these guys are definitely getting caught.
Yeah, they getting a little too comfortable right now.
Yeah, my mom. I hear my mom. I hear somebody yelling.
Oh no, I didn't even say that. I was like, oh, I'm out, y'all. Y'all about to get caught. Yeah, and I know it.
That's funny. It's interesting you said that about like analyzing people. Mm-hmm. And I think, I didn't have my first kid till 33, right? So, that's that analyzation, and that's why I'm in psychology and stuff like that too, man. I've watched a lot of stuff, and I watch parenting, and like I've learned how I want to parent, it's just different. I'm not saying I'm going to do everything perfectly, but like I've watched what I do and don't want to do and stuff like that. Like I'm very much the same way, especially in my older years. Like I just watch everything.
You got to see it. Right?
Yeah. You got to pay attention, man. And that's how you learn too.
People will show you who they are.
Yo, without a doubt.
Every time. That'll never let you down. I always say you're a fool if you keep listening to a fool talk.
It doesn't matter what people say they are.
Exactly. You keep listening to that man talk, and you're not watching what their actions are and what they really like. If you rewatch a person's actions, they'll tell you who they are.
Yo, dude, actions, man. There's a saying, it's actions matching words, and I'm big on that. And I actually went on a rant and posted a video. I was probably gonna get under some people's skin, but I was like, like at the end of the day, I don't care what anybody does. Now, to me, as human beings, we help human beings. Like that's we impact the world through love, and that's just a personal value of mine. But I don't care what you do. But if you preach the message of wanting to make an impact and help people, but then you don't show up when you have the opportunity, that to me is a huge, like, I get worked up about that, because it's like you're building your message off of a lie of something that is righteous, but you're not showing action behind it. That's like,
absolutely,
that it drives me nuts. It's like, hey, I don't care. Like, I want you to succeed, but don't build it off of something like that.
It sounds like a fraud to me. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
but
I've seen it time and time again, man. And it's just like, so I went on this whole thing. I'm probably gonna get some people butthurt, but hey, man, the truth has to be told. It's just the truth.
Listen, hit dog holler every time.
If you get upset, man, look in the mirror.
Listen, what I'm saying, hit dog holler every time.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So going through high school, you know, you were playing the sports. You had the basketball, football, all the things. When did you graduate?
2006, high school.
Oh, nice. I was 08, right behind you.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know I was older than you.
Yeah, dude.
Man.
I know.
I ain't Joe.
I know. I told somebody how old I was yesterday. They were like, dang, you look a lot older.
Joe
I'm like, what?
You got an old soul. That's what it is. You got an old soul.
Yeah, man. It's all the grades coming in, too. But, yeah, so 2006, and then you went to school where?
So originally I went to Virginia State
cool.
on a football scholarship.
Nice.
A partial football scholarship, partial engineering scholarship.
Yeah.
It's a D2 school, so they didn't do full ride scholarships. You know, and I thought I was good in football. I was pretty decent. I'm gonna say I was decent.
Yeah.
Definitely had a work ethic. Did not have the size that I thought I needed, but you know, there's just things that don't work out. So I wasn't as good as I thought I was. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, you know, some people just got that genetic edge, man.
They just had it. So I started there, and I always say I like to use my brain more than my physicality.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was like, oh no, this is not gonna work out.
Yeah.
Because I found out what out-of-state tuition was. Even with all the scholarships, I was paying more. I was having to take out a loan more than I would if I just stayed in state and not done anything as far as in scholarship wise.
Damn.
I was like, out-of-state tuition costs that much? Yes, it did. So I was there for 2 semesters, pretty much like a year. But I graduated high school in, of course, May of 2006, and I was literally going for college in June.
Okay.
Oh, July. So I went for a summer program that they had there before football camp started for my first year. So
and you know, it's gonna be expensive.
I was gone, and no, that was paid for. I had that paid for.
Okay.
It's the engineering program I was telling you about I was in, and I was there for that pretty much that summer semester, and then the fall semester, and then I transferred to University of Tennessee Chattanooga.
Nice.
So I was there from spring of that year, 2007, all the way until I graduated. So that's was my whole college experience. Pretty much was UTC.
Nice, man. And dude, I love Chattanooga. Chattanooga's dope, man.
Beautiful city.
It is beautiful, man.
It's always got it's a home to me. I mean, I always tell people that's where I became a man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, dive into that, man. Dive into that college journey, man. And when did you graduate from college, by the way?
2011, spring 2011. Yes, when I graduated from college.
That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I went into the military in 2009, so I was like, yeah,
you're right behind me. Huh?
Yeah, right behind your way, and then just different
paths, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So yeah. Tell us about that.
College is different.
Yeah.
When I say, and it was even so the different colleges. So when I got to Virginia State, there was a community dorm. If you know what I mean, you actually had the dorm roommate, like actual roommate, where y'all stayed in the same room, and you had a community bathroom where you walk in and shower and restrooms. You didn't have your own bathroom.
Yeah.
So, as soon as I got to UTC, all that changed. UTC had like apartment living, if you know what I mean. Like I had my own room. First time in my life I had my own room when I got to this school. We had one bathroom, so it was like 4 rooms and one bathroom.
Okay, like a shared bathroom.
Shared bathroom, and then
kitchen and stuff.
You had shared community area. But that was the cool part for me. I felt like I'm in an apartment now. I got my own room. I'm growing up. You know what I mean?
I'm a man now.
I got there. And I say I was recruited there.
Yeah.
Because when I was leaving for Virginia State, I reached out to two of my really good friends. One was at Tennessee State, and the other one's actually a couple of them were at UTC.
Yeah.
Ultimately picked UTC just because simple fact is, like, I felt like I went to TSU, I probably wouldn't have graduated.
Yeah.
Because I would have been at her partying like a whole lot.
Oh yeah, TSU does it get pretty crazy?
Yeah.
I feel like UTC does.
It wasn't on the level of TSU at that time.
Really?
And I just felt like I would do better, at UTC because I had never been to Chattanooga. I've been I had actually went to TSU homecoming like 3 or 4 times in high school because our high school was was at the time they were like a little sister high school to TSU.
TSU, okay.
Yeah, so we were all we had like a I don't know feeder program into TSU.
Was it a big high school?
Yeah. Well, no, our high school was small.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I graduated in class with like 100 or something, maybe.
Yeah. Mine was 100.
I say 100, something like 100, like the low end, like 110
really?
Type deal. Yeah.
I'm from a tiny town, so small town.
Very small.
Yeah.
Yeah, college was dope.
Yeah, it's. I think about it, man. I'm glad I did. God, I would have been. Who knows if I would have gone to a school even that size? Like I went to a Baptist college, Gardner Webb, North Carolina.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, I went there and I got into trouble there, man.
Huh, you just found trouble at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly. I went and sought it out. So that's why I needed to go.
You had to look for it when you were up there. Yes.
Yeah. So good thing I didn't go to anything bigger because I'd be screwed.
That was it's there. Being in college is so if I tell my kids, don't think going to college is gonna make you rich.
Yeah.
I know that was kind of pushed into our brain when we were in high school, middle school, like, go to school, go to college, get a degree, get a good job, work that job and retire. You be rich. Yeah. That is absolutely untrue. That's not a way to, I would say, succeed in being rich or wealthy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That definitely changed because, tuition costs quite a bit. So if you don't do what you're supposed to do as far as in making a career choice in college, you can go to school. As a matter of fact, I've seen people get degrees and them degrees just literally set on a shelf with dust on it and they never use it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I see it quite often because a lot of people go and they don't know what they want to do or what they want to be, and they just go to school because they were told to do. Yeah,
they're sold an expectation, and they end up investing in something that they're going to be paying off a lot of times forever, and for years and years to come, and not even be able to apply it to like
what they
making the money. Yeah,
to they got a passion for type deal.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that wasn't me because I knew exactly what I wanted to do, and I knew I was going to make money if I achieved it. So I got there at UTC and was straight into the civil engineering program. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. That program was difficult. I think that's one of those things that actually molded me into just understanding that hard work it will pay off, but you gotta have some book smarts.
Oh yeah.
I mean, just working hard and not going in the right direction will not always end up in success for you as well.
Yeah.
But balancing being in civil engineering, playing college football, and trying to have that campus life was very difficult, I would say.
Well, you had to figure out how to balance it all.
I mean, you mess around and thing is, you start school with people, and in one semester, all of them gone.
Yeah.
One semester. Yeah. I've seen a lot of my friends not make it through the first semester of college, you know what I mean? And
go buck wild.
I had to have that I guess just that realization that certain things weren't going to happen for me in school. So I think that's when I made a flip. I think it was my sophomore year. My sophomore year, one of them. I think I had like 4 D's and a C. Oh, we partied all semester. I mean, it was crazy, and we had a good time, memories were made and stuff. But I had to sit down and be like, okay, am I going to make it out of this or not? Yeah,
you have to have that real talk with yourself. Like, damn, man, I'm screwing this.
Yes, bad. You start losing scholarships and look up and like, okay, I'm probably. I think I had like a 1 point something GPA at that point.
Hell yeah.
I was like, you see the secret swim because
at least it was above a 1, right?
I'm gonna be back at home looking at everyone. They're like, man, you had all this potential, and that's a word that I like. I don't even like the word anymore as much as you would think when someone says you have potential that you're like, all right, yeah, it's a good thing. But if you never achieve it, then you're like one of the biggest failures because it's hard to see a person that say, oh, you had everything in the world, all the potential, and you did nothing with it.
You know what's crazy is and the thing is, most people have potential, and then unfortunately, it's like I pictured like there's you see the stars in the galaxy, right? And you see all this, you see all these things floating up there, and I feel like there's just space up there where like you see. I can almost visualize potential just floating around from people in the world, man, because like so many people have it, man, and they just don't apply it to anything. Exactly. And it's just, it's kind of heartbreaking.
And those are high school people that you like, or you just peaked at high school because you had all the potential in the world. It looked like you was going, to do some great things in life, and 20 years later, you doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. Damn. You don't want to be one of them.
I did not want to be that. I'm telling you, like I was like, man, so I think being scared to fail pushed me further than anything else.
Yeah.
Just not wanting to be looking at myself and seeing a failure in the mirror. Like I was like, no, this ain't gonna work. So, just when going to college, you say that the time management, the balancing money, being broke is all get out.
Yep.
I mean, it was a point. I think I took 23 hours one semester because I was just ready to be done with college. Right. It was just like
that's insane.
Yeah, people.
I'm surprised they let you do that.
So what it was is like I think it was my last semester. I was about done. I think I had 12 hours scheduled, and I would have been done. I had finally had to hit that switch. And when I say hit that switch in college, from 4 D's and a C. To the next semester, I had like 5 B's and an A.
Nice.
And what it was I got my butt kicked, and I ended up having to drop football. What I mean by that, so we were going through a point where we brought in new coaches, and then that semester before that season, I was called into the counselor's office or the academic advisor, and she was like, hey, Arsenio, I know that you're supposed to be playing this year, but you're not. I was like, what do you mean I'm not playing? You know, and we were scheduled to, at this time, we were going to play Oklahoma. And when I say Oklahoma, there was Sam Bradford. Oklahoma. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm on the depth chart. I done made the team. It's time to go ball. Well, I've come to find out they had something that was called a percentage rule. And what that means is you have to have a certain amount of your major classes complete by a certain point of where how long you've been in the program, right? And they tell me, oh, you're one class short. I said, what you mean I'm one class short? I've been here a whole summer, practicing, playing, everything, and you could just told me that you need to take one class of summer school. She was like, well, we only make sure we take care of the scholarship players.
Yeah.
I would say her name, but she, like, to this day, I still don't like that woman because she did that. Like, to this day, because, I would like, I do the work, you know what I mean? But just, that's the part I didn't think I would have to worry about, you know what I mean?
Dude, that's the thing. Well, unfortunately, with advising, you don't know what's going on. Like, yeah, even with me going into, wanting to get my therapist license, and going into psychology, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, I got to get a PhD. I mean, that's cool and all. Like, having a PhD would be dope. Mm-hmm. But no, in reality, like, most therapists have a master's. Like, PhDs aren't even, like, doing therapy one-on-one. Yeah. They're doing, like, research and stuff. And exactly. I didn't know this. Like, I'm thinking my advisor has answers. And I'm like, oh, shit, I found this out. I'm like, so it changed the whole, trajectory of things and how I'm going to go about it. And it makes it a lot less, stressful because PhD programs are insane and you got to go to different states. And it's all this stuff. But I was like, well, that changes things. But, yeah, unfortunately, like, a lot of these advisors aren't, like, they don't really know, like, exactly what's going on.
Had no clue.
I know. That sucks, man.
Like, man, it hurt.
So football was done after that?
So I decided, like, I need to make sure, because that's when I had got all the D's and C. I'm looking like, this is, being a college athlete, you all are, and I'm going to say we all are just, it's different. Mm-hmm. That is your life. And people think that it's a privilege. It's definitely a privilege if you are, they're on full ride and stuff. When I say they own you, they own you. Yeah. You're up at, and like I said, I thought I'd never get up in the morning and be working out and doing all kind of stuff at 4:35 in the morning. Well, here we are again. But that started in college workouts. You get up, you got workouts at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. treatments, and you go grab breakfast and you right back to class and you work in class up to about 12, get out of class, get some lunch, get ready for practice. Yeah. Practice to about 2:30, maybe 2, 3 o'clock, get out of practice, go get something to eat, cleaned up, study hall.
Constant work.
All the way to probably about 7, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
And then you're back at it again the next day.
It's nuts.
It's like it for the whole semester. And then even when you're not in, season, you still have that kind of schedule, even because, you got spring practice and all that kind of stuff. So they own you for that most part, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's crazy too. And if you're not even on like a full scholarship.
Full scholarship.
Like, damn. Yeah.
Like, dang. So I was like, do I need to do
Takes a little extra discipline.
Exactly. And I'm in engineering. And then they just told me, well, you're not going to be eligible to play this year.
Nowadays they're getting millions of dollars. They're like, oh, that's all I got to do.
You talking about a Neil?
Go practice.
Oh, man. I would have been, Neil, I'd have been good. I would have been good.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm not a huge fan of it for my own personal reasons.
I'm a fan of it because I've seen what it can do for you. You know what I mean? But it does take away from the sport to an extent, but at the same time, I've seen people make millions off of the grind of other people like nothing. Because I was one of those people that was just like, I wasn't a big name athlete. That's true. At all. Yeah. But I've seen, I was there with a couple of guys that actually played in the league, and like, some friends of mine that played in the league, and they done well for themselves there at, in Chattanooga. And they could have done well for themselves making money off Neil. So I just kind of I was able to see both sides of it. Yeah. But for me, I was like, this is not my way out. I'm not going to the NFL. Yeah. No. I'm
dude being an engineer.
Unless the engineer may be it's hard, but I think I got a better chance there. So I decided, like, all right, let's focus solely on your academics. Cool. And that's when it flipped, and I was able to do a lot better with just and then even with that flip or that switch of that gear, I also found out it's also not about it's more so about who you know. It's good to know your stuff. you got to know yourself because you got to depend on it. But being in the right place at the right time and knowing the right person, that networking part takes you a lot further. Because I got really tight with the other engineering students and found out, hey, you're not as dumb as you thought you was, Arsenio. Everyone's struggling, and that realization makes you feel better about yourself. You know what I mean?
You know, it's weird because like the fitness industry is like so important and it's such a good thing, but it's also like there's so much
stress can be in it.
It's not that united. There's so many people willing to ruin other people's careers or like ruin other people just and like talk about them and spread lies or whatever. I mean, there is. Yes. I mean, there's a lot of people that are connected and that are great, but then there's a lot of people that the complete opposite. So it makes it kind of chaotic.
Yes. I always feel like these type of people feel like everyone can't achieve, everyone can't eat.
Yeah.
Like there's only one bone in a million dogs trying to get that one bone type deal. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm like, that's not the way it is. I promise you, there's people that you know that I don't know. There's a lot of people out here that need help. And I promise you, I don't know all of them, or I'm not going to be able to get to all of them because of where I'm at in life.
Facts.
I mean, I don't have to pull someone that's down or mess someone else's reputation up or badmouth anyone to try to uplift where I'm at or what I got going on.
Dude, that's like I'm involved with the Nashville Fit magazine guys. You know, they invited me to some things, but they're all about collaborating.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we grow.
Mm-hmm.
If you're here to compete, like, you know, we're here to collaborate and grow because there's billions of people. There's so much opportunity for all of us, man. We can all succeed. Now, I say that with like I always believe in competition. Like, I want other apparel brands or like brands that do everything I do right to succeed. I do want you to succeed. I'll support you. I'll buy your shit, all the things. I'll go do your things, and I'll stand by that. But I'm also going to be like, well, and just inherently, I want to do better. I want to see my shirts on more people, and it's nothing against you. It's just that's that competition. That's that drive to like that helps me level up.
If you level up, I want to make sure I'm doing what I got to do to level up.
But I'm not going to overstep you. I'm not going to try to like.
But that just goes to the saying, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
I level up. You're like, oh, shit, Joe's crushing. Okay, let's level each other up. That's how you do it. You compete a little bit, but without getting nasty.
But not being malicious towards the next person.
Exactly. That's the thing. So I think competition's healthy, but in the right way, you know?
Yeah, there's a healthy way to do it.
My analogy, man, the guys don't show up to the line at the Super Bowl to flip the coin. Mm-hmm. They're like, hey, dude, let's tie. We can share this trophy.
You got me extra for
they got a lot of respect for each other, but guess what? Somebody's gonna win.
Somebody got to win.
They go in there with the idea to win, but that's just the whole point. So so I think there's an understanding of like, hey, competition is great, but but don't be like a malicious, like you said, malicious person about it. Like, do it the right way and use that to help each other level up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And if someone's mad at you for succeeding, it's like, oh, it's not on me, man. I'm going all out. You inspired me to like level up. So like, do the same.
I did exactly what it was supposed to do. I got better. So I hope you're able to do the same.
I love it, dude. Hell yeah.
Too. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, back to your story.
Yeah.
You know, we're not going to finish everything today. This is the last segment, but these 30-minute segments are flying by.
They really are.
Yeah. It's fun though.
It is.
Yeah, dude. You just get invested in the conversation and all the in between. So it's just like, it's part of it, but you're here. He's here all the time, guys. So we'll make it happen. Yeah. Like every single day. We left off at, you know, basically you were stepping it up in school. And you're talking about networking. And I was going to ask, is this around the time, aren't you in a fraternity?
Yes.
So did you get tied in within the beginning of school, or is this around the time you started to?
So there was a networking part with engineering, right? And that's when I met pretty much I got close with a lot of my engineering friends and classmates at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we literally stuck together and pushed through and literally drug each other to the finish line. Like you're talking about, we didn't take a competition, we took it as a collaboration.
Yeah.
We all have to work together to get through this.
Yeah.
And it's when we found out the teacher was trying to play us in a lot of different things. They would give us homework that was wrong and make us figure out that it was wrong. And we would roll up on the teacher and be like, hey, Mr. And this name, Dr. Goulet. You know, certain teachers you remember. You know that this homework's wrong? Yeah, I did it on purpose. I will fight you. I was up to 3 a.m, you know, doing this and still had to be at work at 8 o'clock. And you telling me you gave me wrong homework because you wanted to figure it out. That's just so wrong.
That's nasty.
It's just nasty.
Why you gonna do me like that?
Why would you do us like that? You know? But you know, it definitely bonded us. And to this day, we need to create those networks. So that was the engineering part where I felt like it was a good stepping stone. The fraternal part actually was a little different. So my roommates, as I moved from one roommate when I was on the football team, of course, they played ball, and as I exited that chapter, I was saying, two of my really good friends that we know from the same hometown, I moved in with them.
Yeah.
Ironically, one was a Q, one was an Alpha.
Yeah.
And I already kind of had my eyes on what I wanted to do, you know what I mean, and set my eyes on that. And yeah, I started, going about that last semester of school for me, because the fraternity I wanted to be a part of was at the time hadn't had a line in like the whole time I was in school, from my freshman, sophomore year, all the way up to my senior year. It was just like they had a couple of different lines that come out, and then it was just like nothing. So then my very last semester, it was like, oh, we're going to do online. I'm like, oh, you mother, because I got a handful of everything right now. That's when I had to take the 23 hours.
Yeah.
I had no transportation. Because I had my car and it broke down. I was broke, couldn't fix it. Yeah. So I was taking a bus, literally from like the city bus, because they gave us college students free, free,
like a little bus pass.
Yeah, a little bus pass.
Yeah.
So I was literally taking the bus from school. I was living off campus at this time, taking the bus, getting dropped off at school, taking the from the school, dropped off from another bus at another campus. There was another college. There was a community college. Then taking that bus and getting it bussed out to my job that I was working at TJ Maxx,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Doing that, and then taking another bus and going back home and doing it all over again. It was awful, man. I'm telling you, talking about just tired.
It's good for you,
beat
though.
Up, classes, and then they talking about we're gonna do something for, we're gonna have a line for fraternity. I tried it. It didn't work. At that point, it didn't work. I ended up not going and crossing over at that point. I think they required at the time we required a 2.5 GPA, and I had a 2.47.
Okay.
And it wasn't happening. I was done.
What does the line mean? Like
so it means like a certain amount of people that was gonna pledge.
Oh, like rush?
Yeah, rush. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
No,
my
I'm sorry.
perception.
Okay, let me listen. Don't take us the wrong way, but white fraternities say rush.
So my
Greek organizations say lines.
See, growing
it's
up,
all different terminology.
I thought
exact same stuff.
I assumed that's what you meant.
Yes,
but I just wanted to clarify.
He said, "You mean rush?" Yep, that's exactly what it is. Because ironically, we all collaborated. The white Greek fraternities and the black Greek. Yeah, we always collaborated and did like the leagues and sports leagues and stuff. But yeah, we found that out that they called it rush, and it's pretty much like bringing in new members.
Yeah, rushing them in,
and we called it lines.
Lining, yeah,
like what I mean, like, and that actually a lot of stuff actually comes from military with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna get into that, but like a lot of that kind of stuff, mentality and stuff, actually was pulled from the military. So.
Well, in a way, like my brotherhood, like my guys, a spiritual thing. Like, I mean, and that's essentially a fraternity. It's
exactly
fraternity of brothers,
yes,
but we just unite on a different thing, right? It's a spiritual thing more so, but yeah, I mean, that's essentially what it is.
Yes,
It's a network.
It's literally what it is.
Yeah.
So that's when I got involved with it, but I did not cross over into the fraternity that I'm in until the next year. I went about it the next year. So I went back. I graduated and then went through the grad chapter after. The youngest one, I think it was funny was I went through the grad chapter for my fraternity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there were undergrads that was going through the undergrad line, right?
Yeah.
And some of them were older than me.
That's funny as hell.
And I'm like, and I graduated, so I was like, I actually went through and got done with school and crossed over, and as Alpha.
Y'all do like the dances where you're like, wow.
Oh yeah,
you're like kicking up in the air and stomping around.
Yeah, you thinking about Stump the Yard, ain't you? I know a lot of people.
I had a friend named Colton that went to MTSU, and Colton Ward, and he always like posted on his story and stuff. And they're like, I'm like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah,
like, these guys look nuts.
Yeah, we definitely did. That was funny. But,
that's funny.
That was a good part of being able to have just the different experiences, with undergrad and grad.
Mm-hmm.
And me being my age, I always stay hanging with my age group.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, nothing against anyone else, but yeah, that was kind of just my experience from that. And I definitely still have for my fraternity now. So loved it being with it. That was I crossed over in spring of 2012.
Nice.
Was that 12 years ago now?
I was deployed then.
12, 13, gonna be 13 years this spring. Yeah, quick. Yeah. But yeah, that's definitely a whole experience. Those networks that you were talking about are just priceless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you look up and you, even with engineering, with college in general, when I was talking about just the networking, is where I say if I'm teaching my kids anything, if you go to college, your best part of college is the independent part of learning to be independent, time management, and the networking.
Dude, anything in life.
I mean, you would mess around and a person you was sitting there going to school with, background has nothing to do with you have to do with their family background, anything, and they'll mess around and be halfway across the country. And 10 years after college, it comes full circle.
Yeah. Their company has a job opening or
you just never know where it goes. And I was like, you don't have that much opportunity to network probably anywhere else in your life most of the time.
Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, because I think about it, I mean, I was in the military, right? So a lot of people I know are still in the military, right? And so that, I mean, it is a network, and it applies to different things for sure. And, but like because I mean, going into college for me and then like going through the military, so my whole idea of, a fraternity was like, and no offense. I was like, there's a bunch of white dudes in polos, with some khakis on,
look at
some
these
Sperry's,
look at these frat boys.
Yeah, they're just like partying and hanging out with babes, and and I'm like,
definitely, yeah.
But movies portray that all the time too, man. Do. And so that's all I thought it was. Yeah. But then even I was talking to my tattoo artist, and he said his son he's just got to Ole Miss, and he joined a fraternity, and then he was like, he said think a certain way about it, but then dude, the connections and stuff is so valuable. Like it's really good for him. And I'm like, yeah, for sure.
Those connections are crazy. No matter where I go in, honestly, the world, but I would just say here in America, I can always look up and find my local chapter of my fraternity, and I got a brotherhood right there waiting.
Meet with some people. That's dope, dude.
No matter where I go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. And you seem to be involved with a lot of them currently. Like I know you went to a wedding recently. That was one of them. Yeah. That's dope, man. So yeah, you carry that with you, man. That's always a party. That's dope.
Always.
Oh yeah.
Going anywhere.
Would you say there's any fraternities that you shouldn't go in that just like?
I don't rain on anyone's parade.
Well, I'm not going to say drop any names, but I'd imagine there may be some that like I don't know the whole Greek world. Maybe there's some that's like, oh man, that's not really a network. I don't know if they're newer.
I don't necessarily know there's the way I know mine. So that's why I say I don't speak on what I don't know. I just say I would say. Be involved with something that you feel like is gonna uplift you and you can give back to as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna have their thing, no matter if that's the football team, if that's gonna be military, if that's gonna be a fraternity. You know what I mean? Find your band.
Bring something to the table.
Find a band of brothers or sisters that you feel like have a common path.
Yeah.
That y'all gonna elevate and uplift each other with, and just it's a lot easier when there's a lot more hands involved.
Oh, without a doubt, man. I had some kids try to get me to join a fraternity at MTSU.
Yeah.
And like here I am in like covering tattoos at the time because I'm back. This is after military, and I'm like at school on a Harley with like a leather vest on, and like
oh, gotta have it.
They're like, dude, you wouldn't even have to rush, man. I'm like, are y'all just going to try to use me for like fights and shit? Like I don't know.
You got a purpose. You don't know what it is.
I know what's going on. Okay, no,
you're gonna be used for something. You just don't know. They got a reason they're asking you.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, because I don't.
We got a plan for you, Joe. We got a plan for you.
Yeah, I know, man. Using me, man. It's messed up, guys. So going from there, man. So school, you graduated college. When you went to grad school, you said?
No.
Okay. I thought you said
I went through the grad chapter for the fraternity. Yes.
Dope.
But no, when I got out of school from college, it was a blessing. I was actually kind of like recruited right out of the college for my first job. I actually had like 4 different opportunities waiting on me, 3 or 4. While in college, we had something called Black Civil Engineering, or another organization. You had like ASME, all different engineering organizations.
Yeah.
But you go into these conferences and stuff, and sometimes they have like career fairs and different things, but you have to apply yourself and go out there and network.
Yeah.
I'm great at networking. I'm not, but I learned to be great. I had to push myself because most of the time I'll sit back and just be quiet, but closed mouth don't get fed, especially in this industry. So when we would go to these conferences, I was putting on a show. Like I would go, of course you got your suits on it, and something about putting a suit on made you feel like you're a grown man.
God, but I'm the man. Yeah.
Hey, all these companies want me, and I would tell myself that all the time. I'm gonna kill any interview I'm in, and I would talk to myself. So then when we go in, they would do on the spot interviews for certain jobs and stuff. And I'm talking about when you go to these career fairs, I'm talking about 300+ companies, Fortune 500 companies, and they're looking for upcoming talent.
Yeah.
And I think I did this for like 2 years, 2 or 3 years. Were just like regional, and then we went to national ones. That's the first time I actually got to travel out of the country. We went to a conference in Toronto, in Canada.
Yeah.
Seeing that different world and it being an experience that was crazy. But I got I think I left there with 3 offers.
Nice, dude.
Just like what they call it, co-ops, internships and stuff coming out of college. And when I was graduating from civil engineering, I was heading over to San Diego to help in a STEM program to be one of I don't know what, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was going to be there working on campus at San Diego State. Then I was coming back and then going to start as a civil engineering tech in IDOT, which was in Springfield, Illinois.
Nice.
So that was like the path. I was like,
yeah.
I'm like, man, listen, I was about to be gone, right? I get a call. I hadn't went and stayed home for a while after I graduated, and I think it's like 2 weeks later. And then I got a call from the advisor, from the engineering advisor from UTC. Shout out, Julie. Appreciate the call still. And she was like, hey, there's companies down here doing job interviews for engineering. Would you be interested? Well, yeah. She's like, well, can you be down here in like an hour or two? At the time I was in Knoxville. I can be in Chattanooga in an hour and a half.
Yeah, got you.
I jumped up and was gone and went and done an interview, and they offered more starting than any other job, like opportunities. So guess where I went?
There.
I went back to Chattanooga. Real cool.
Yeah.
And the guy that interviewed me, he ended up being a mentor to this day. I still can call him right now, and I worked with him all the way for like 7 years. I mean, took care of me kind of like a father figure. You know, he was a lot older than us. Terry Woods, I always appreciate you.
Nice.
And he kind of came into the school, interviewed us, and he interviewed every like recent graduate that had just came out. And now I'm not sitting there saying this, but I was the only black engineer that was graduating in that class. So,
yeah.
And he was a black man. He looked at me and said, "You the only one?" I was like, "Yeah,
I gotta get this.
the only one. This is just me." Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, I see a lot of you in me. I appreciate that. You know, we kind of look alike. You know that, right? But he interviewed me and he looked at me and he was like, You can do a lot. I see your work ethic, because we talked, and just like you and I talked and seen the story. And he was like, "Wow, son," he said, "if you bring that to the engineering world, you'll be all right." And he just gave me a chance, and I said he hasn't regretted it yet.
Nice, dude.
So I took that and ran with it. I mean, I came out of college doing well for myself. Now I think I told my mom how much I was gonna make. She said, "Ooh, baby, you're doing good."
You're moving on up.
I was already making more than them, just right out of college, and I think that was like my first time, like, all right, you are heading the right path. Don't mess this up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I almost messed it up a couple times, but
How so?
I mean, still trying to be a college student when I was just recently still hanging around and still fighting and stuff, and almost getting it not great, but I'm be honest, fighting, and I think I came to work one time. I had a black eye and everything, and he pulled me just, you can't come to your work professional place, like what you been doing over the weekend, and he's like, so you gotta figure out what you want to do, son.
Yeah,
that's when I'm like, all right, I gotta grow up.
Yeah,
and I got a lot going for myself, like you said, potential.
You're on a new chapter.
I'm in a new chapter. I got to grow up. I got, you know what I mean. So I was like, all right, so here we go again, And it was plenty of times where I just almost didn't make it to where I was supposed to be at. I actually didn't just say this. I had a gentleman, that's one of my closest friends, his dad. Crazy connections. I always looked up to him. He really showed me that there's better things in life as far as in the family unit, as far as a mother, father, kids, a whole nine, great reputation. But he came to my rescue when I was in high school because, long story short, I got into like a scuffle. I would say it that way. But we were playing. It's like you ever play fight with friends? I'm talking to Joe. I know Joe. But now this one ended up.
Still do that.
The guy, I put him in a sleeper hold, right? He actually passed out.
Shit.
But no, I didn't know he was asleep. So when I let him go, he didn't brace himself. Smacked the floor. Boom. I'm like, yo, get up. Quit playing. You know what I mean? I'm like,
that's a good trick. But
I lift him off the floor. Blood everywhere, man. I was like, oh, I'm going to jail. Like, I was like, I thought it was, and I'm like,
lock me up.
All I was doing was playing, you know what I mean? And I looked up and I'm like, and so I got labeled as a bully and all kind of stuff. And the guy was bigger than me. Long story short, they came and got me out of I was in AP calculus, right? I'm trying to do a college course. I'm trying to do well for myself, right?
Yeah.
Man, they came, knocked on the door, and we need to see Mr. Arsenio Moulden. I'm like, what I do? I'm trying to take a test right now.
Yeah, guy, you're interrupting.
And listen, man, they took me to the principal's office. I literally left out of school in handcuffs and got to the juvenile.
Damn.
And thing about my people were hot. Imagine your kid going to school and you get a phone call saying they a juvenile.
Oh man,
like
that sucks.
They didn't like get there to because you're not supposed to be able to.
Your dad's like, you got caught.
Nah, he wasn't even around at this time.
Oh, okay.
That was a long story short. I had left the house and I was in my I think I was sophomore in high school. I literally left one weekend and never came back home, and went and moved in with my best friend because I knew my pops couldn't provide for what I wanted to do.
Dang, dude.
So this time I'm living with my best friend.
Damn.
Yes, I left the nest and was like, all right, I'm gonna go do this by myself. But yeah, so they got that call and it was like, what? So long story short, I was in juvenile for like 3 days. All I had in there, I was in there with a little big window and a Bible. I said, Lord, you get me out of this one. I promise I'm gonna be all right.
In your head, you're looking at like 20 years.
I just knew I was going. I was like, man, I did everything I was supposed to do good, and I wasn't even fighting this time. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm here, but Sam Anderson, I appreciate you, and I still continue to thank you for that. But he I don't know where he did or how he did it, but I ended up just getting what happened? I had to do like some community cleanup.
That's it.
And I ended up back. In the back end, everything is all right. But yeah, he pretty much saved my life on that one because I found out that what it was the person that I had an incident with. His mom was like the police officer at the school, and she thought I was the devil. Damn. She tried to get me taken out, man.
Damn, dude. She's trying to give you life.
She tried to take. I mean, he is the bad. He picking on my baby. Yeah. And he don't like him, and I was like, man, I ain't got no beef with. He the quarterback. I'm just a.
You still up to that? First time you came here, you put me in a chokehold. I was like, what the hell?
Oh, really?
You're like, this is gonna be my rent.
Yeah, man. I was like,
oh shit.
Like, I don't want no trouble, man. I don't want no trouble. But I never forget that, man. That was a crazy time. I had to get.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
To even get to the point where I had to figure out what I want to do later on, up to becoming an engineer.
It was also like, it's also a good thing in a way because you're able to see like, damn, like this was a total accident. And so like, and these were the consequences. So imagine if I really jacking up. Yes. Yeah, dude. It's good. It probably benefited you.
Yeah.
You need a little like now, but reality.
Then I'm like, man, I was in the orange jumpsuit. Yeah. Could you believe it? Like, and out of something that was just totally crazy. You know what I mean? Like, no, so I was like,
Well, I'm glad you overcame that, man. I'm glad you didn't stay down that path, dude.
No, that wasn't the only one. In college, I almost I found myself in jail once again.
Now, how'd you do that?
Parties. We threw a crazy house party one time, right? And I'm telling you, it's almost like, what's that movie, Project X? Mm-hmm. It was kind of like that. Like, damn. We had the whole hallway filled. So of course, the cops get called and they show up to this is an apartment, not even a house.
Yeah.
I mean, we got all three levels. It's like people out on balconies, car. It was definitely too much, right? Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting it to be that way, but I think it was like in the summer. People
just got out of control.
And people like, yeah. So long story short, the cops come up, they knock on the door, and I'm like, they're like, all right, we need who lives here? I live here. I'm like, I'm thinking, all right, go out, open the door. How you doing, sir? All right, we need to, clear everything out and all this and that. I'm like, all right, no, we'll do that. And I remember, I had been drinking, of course. Me and the cop got to back and forth, and I'm in the back of the police car, man.
Damn.
And I'm on the football team right now. We all get citations. The coach ran the hell out of us. I mean, you got people sitting in the back. They like, I think I was about to turn. I think it was like a month before I turned 21 too. So they're like, "You underage drinking," and I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Come on, guys.
Man, I got a lawyer. He got me off. 1 month. He got me off. So I ended up having to do community cleanup down in Chattanooga, man.
Yeah, dude, that sucks.
I say, man, I gotta get, this is one of those things where I'm like, I think I went in and I was out like the next day. My friends got together and went to pay my bond, and then I went to court, and he was like, it's just college students being college students. The judge was cool, and he made me have to wrote me up for community service.
So that being said, if you ever if you play sports and you get in trouble, like just
don't answer the door.
Yeah, or go ahead and make yourself love running, because for some reason every coach, it's like you get in trouble for anything. It could be going to jail, or it could be like a bad test grade. They just want to run you.
Oh yeah,
so just make yourself like running, and you could just play it off and be like, oh yeah,
exactly,
cool.
Because you're gonna get that's the discipline.
That's what the first thing they go to. They're like, Run.
That make you're gonna roll 100 yards to the point where you throw up. You're gonna run hills. You're gonna run gashers. You're gonna have to wake up and do early training when you don't want to, and you may have to do post training. It's just gonna be some kind of form of
that shit all sounds fun right now.
Punishment that you. I mean, now I'm in shape. I can do this shit now.
Push
right?
me.
But
me.
then it's like, oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm already not getting no sleep.
That's so funny, man.
Yeah, so. Yeah, those are my two experiences. I would say that someone always say, "Hey, you ever been in jail?" And I'm like, I actually have. It wasn't long.
Nothing but trouble, man.
But
who would have known?
That did happen. I actually got to look in between some in the bars, and I'm like, that's just terrible. I don't know how. Why would you want to live like this?
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything. You are literally sitting in this little one room with a bench and a little commode.
Screw that.
And I'm good on all that. I'm not doing any of that no more. I learned my lesson.
Yep.
That was the last time I came. No.
Yep. That's good though, man. That's good.
That was terrible, man. I was like, I need to do better with that. But yeah, that was.
Hell yeah. I do got to say we got a few more minutes. I know you got to cut out of here. And then get back. So we're gonna have to do this again, dude, because I want to dive into like, when you met your wife and your family and all that stuff. Like there's like there's these grown aspects of you that we got to gather up and like what you've learned on that path. Mm-hmm. But we'll have part 2 coming soon. So we'll get the first recording. We'll get we'll get this one out there, and then we'll get the next one in the books, dude. We'll make it happen here shortly. That way they run into one another. But yeah, I know you got to bounce, and I hate to cut you short, but. Yeah, man, it flies by, dude.
It does.
That's an hour and a half of recording almost.
I mean, I can't believe it because you asked me first started. You're kind of nervous. I'm like, man, I ain't never been in front of a camera talking, but
you start to realize you don't even really pay attention to
that. Yeah, but it's been a dope experience. I thank you for being the first person to ever invite me on the podcast, Joe.
Dude, of course, man.
Oh, man.
Hey, dude.
Man, that's my own heart.
It's an opportunity to like learn more about you, but also make it productive.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I do got to ask you real quick, what is your relentless pursuit as an individual and in your business?
As an individual, my relentless pursuit is always to be better than what I had.
Yeah.
I always want to make sure I raise the bar. I want to be my kid's stepping stone, and I want to make sure that stepping stone is pretty high.
Great.
What was the second part you asked?
And in your business?
And my business is Phortitude Fitness.
So what is your relentless pursuit like within your career, I guess you could say?
Within the career aspect of Phortitude Fitness is to impact as many lives healthily as possible.
There you go. I love it, man. Well said. Well, Arsenio, it's great having you, bro.
I appreciate the invite again, Joe.
Hey, man. I'm looking forward to next time, dude. We'll be back at it here soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.